sure you're a fan of him too as a part of Bridge. So let's welcome up to the stage with a whole lot of applause, Coach David Wren. Let's welcome David Wren. Come on, David.
How's everybody doing? This is fun. Actually, this is my first time here, so super excited to be a part of tonight. Again, my name is David Wren. I had the pleasure of being a coach for the Saints squad with Bridge this year. My first season, the Saints were 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th grade team. Unbelievable experience. Honored that Dave allowed me to be here today to share some words and advice with you guys. The theme tonight and for the year was personal responsibility, so I'll be touching on that a little bit. But before I do, I want to tell you guys a little story about how Dave got around to picking me as coach. You might wonder how a coach that his first season, he's green, he's new, he hadn't been around Bridge that much, how can he get picked? Well, it's actually a funny story. Dave went to the most athletic coach that he has across all the teams. Coach goes, sorry Dave, I got a thing, can't do it. Dave then goes to his most intelligent tactician coach. He's the smartest lacrosse coach that he's got. His coach says, Dave, sorry man, I wish I could, I can't. Dave then comes to me and he goes, David, we got this thing, can you come? I'd love for you to speak. I pause for a second and then I go, okay Dave, I'll do it. I can't tell you no 3 times. So that actually didn't happen. He asked me, I said yes immediately. I'm super excited to be here. An unbelievable program that Dave runs. I wish I had found it sooner. A little bit about myself before we get into the story. I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia. Made my way to Texas. Well, I grew up playing lacrosse since I was 10. The best game that there is. Played every sport around. Found lacrosse when I was about 10 and stuck with it. And found Bridge. I came out to Texas, went to college at TCU, go Frogs, and I've stayed ever since. I met my beautiful wife here in Dallas. She's right here, Cassidy. And it's funny, I had my entire speech written out a couple weeks ago. I had this whole plan, I had it all ready to go, and I was going to do a certain thing, and then something happened this week, and I completely changed my speech. Completely pivoted and changed what I wanted to do, and I'll get into that story here in a second. So, personal responsibility. One thing I want to focus on today in my speech is owning your mistakes, right? So, personal responsibility, that's a loaded thing that you can talk about, lots of stuff. But what I'm going to focus on is owning your mistakes, learning from them, and how to better yourself every time and improve from your mistakes. My wonderful wife and I, and for those that are married, know that when you are in a marriage, you have full transparency to everything, you know everything about each other, and in that comes some learning experiences about not only the other, but maybe even yourself. So in this process of marriage over the past few years, one thing that I've learned, and my wife has helped me learn, is that I might be a little stubborn. I might make excuses for some mistakes that I make. I might not own up to my mistakes. And I think that's common. Let me ask somebody, or let me ask you guys real quick, raise a hand. Who's the oldest child? Anybody oldest children? Okay, so part of my stubbornness, hard-headedness, I think it's because I'm the oldest child. I think we have a stigma that we are maybe know-it-alls, maybe just a little bit, and I do know it all actually. So no, I'm just kidding. But So as an only child, I think I'm super stubborn. I'm so competitive. I got to be right about everything. But my wife helps me realize I've got to own up to my mistakes, and I've got a story that's really going to tie into that, and I think you guys can relate to a little bit. On Monday, the story that I referenced on Monday, and this is something that probably has happened to somebody in this room. On Monday, I was, no, maybe it was Tuesday. It was earlier this week, where I was watching the NBA Finals. Right, I was watching LeBron and the Cavs play the Warriors, and I was all into it, trying to watch. And then I was a good husband, and I went and made sure I was doing the dishes. So I go and I do the dishes, and I'm being a good husband and taking care of my duties, and then crash. I knock over this coffee pot. It shatters into 10 million pieces of glass. I mean, everywhere glass. I don't have shoes on. My wife just calmly and just like she is always calm and collected and sweet comes over, gets the broom and sweeps it up. I didn't want to move, so I didn't cut my feet. She sweeps it up. I look at her and I go, "Why did you put the coffee pot on the edge of the counter?" Ooh, yeah, oops, oops. I got that look. You know that look? Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. And in that moment, I looked in her eyes, and I was like, "Oh, I know what I'm talking about." Owning your mistakes, admitting when you're wrong, making sure that you realize when you're wrong to improve on it next time and not let it happen again. So I think that's a fun little example that you guys probably can relate to. Owning your mistakes, taking responsibility for every single action that you do. Ask yourself, anytime you're doing anything, are you going to take full responsibility and ownership for it? Don't make excuses. So here's a fun little, we'll tie it into lacrosse a little bit. I had the fortune of playing for a team in high school back in Georgia and Atlanta that we won 3 state championships out of the 4 years I was there. We were super successful, but it's funny how you remember the losses more than you remember the wins, right? Like I've got these trophies, but I remember this one game, and I think it'll tie into owning your mistakes. So my senior year was our only loss that year. We were playing a team. We were tied near the end of the game. One of my buddies on the midfield line was going down for a fast break, full speed. He gets, we thought, a cross check. It's a big cross check. And all of us on the midi line and on attack do this thing. Look at the ref. Wow, it's a penalty. It's a penalty. Who's all seen that in a lacrosse game? Everybody in any sport, right? It's always the ref's fault, right? So what happens is we all throw our arms up. We all lose focus on what's going on. The other team picks up the ball. Mind you, this is the 4th quarter, about 30 seconds left. They pick up the ball, they take a fast break down the field, they score a goal, we lose the game. Period. So we made a big mistake, right? We let someone else control the outcome when we blame the refs, right? We could have focused on the game, gotten back on defense, and maybe we could have won that game, I don't know. But we will never know. And one thing I'll never forget is we played that same team in the state championship game that year, and we were tied at halftime. Our coach goes, "Remember that game we lost. Remember when you lost focus. Remember what happened when you didn't pay attention." So we came out that second half, we fired away, we ended up winning the game, and it was great. Right? We learned from our mistakes. Right? We owned it. We made sure in practice to work to always be focused, and that's what happened, and the results showed. So hopefully between those two stories, you guys can kind of understand where I'm going with this. I think all of us struggle a little bit with owning every action that we have. No matter, always feel like you are responsible, and you are, for everything that you do. Make sure that you own, and make sure that you take care of everything with respect, and you really make sure to take care of what you can control, right? There's times in your life where you're gonna mess up, right? For us older children, you're gonna hit your head, you're gonna be stubborn, you're gonna make a mistake. Own it. Realize that you made a mistake, learn from it, and move on. That's the only way that you're gonna get better, is you're gonna realize that you're making a mistake, you're gonna get better. This will help you in sports. This will help you in your professional career. You're gonna make mistakes. This will help you in school. You do bad on a test, hey, learn from it. What did you not do well on that test? Make sure you get it right the next time, okay? Overall, guys, it was a pleasure to talk to you. Hopefully you learned a little bit. Look forward to sitting back and relaxing, listening to everybody else. It'll be a little bit more fun for me. Yeah, so that's it. Thanks, guys.
Well, thank you, David, for coming up here. I just want to say, we take coffee pots seriously around here. Got our eyes on you, man. We've got these audience participation cards out there. I thought I would read some of these to you. We asked the question, what is the greatest thing you ever owned? And we had, a last-minute entry. Oh, 3 last-minute entries. Under the wire, cool. Some of the greatest things you've ever owned, my cat. I'm a dog person. I don't jive with that, but I'm glad you've got so much more to live for. Let's see. We've got a healthy body.